as a place where people gather. In fact, synagogue is a Greek word for gathering, communal gathering. And that's how they started. The origins of the synagogue were back even in temple times. So it probably goes back almost 2,600 years. The first temple was destroyed in 586 BCE, and then shortly thereafter, people needed a place to do sacrificing or to get together to start to continue the process of prayer. Prayer was just also coming into play. The origin of prayer is interesting because the only means of worship back then were the 3 sacrifices each day. People would come, they had a morning sacrifice, a midday sacrifice, and an evening sacrifice before the sunset. And, they would be called to worship, literally called to worship by the priests at the temple, and people would come bring their animals. Or if they couldn't afford animals, they can bring a sack of flour. There were 5 different types of sacrifices. The interesting thing is one of them is a total burnt offering, where everything, the animal was completely burnt, and that was for expiation for all the people's misdoings. There was a sin offering and a guilt offering. And I always get them confused. One of them represented things you knew you did, which really sounds to me more like a sin offering. And the guilt offering were things I might have done that I didn't know about. I was just having a conversation with an important woman in my life now. We were talking about, we once had a conversation and how she misinterpreted that and how I didn't do a good job explaining it. Not, minor disagreement, nothing like a big deal, but we talked about how curious it is how people can, simply by not speaking the way you want to be heard and not listening the way they're speaking, can end up in 2 different ways of hearing. And that's what the guilt offering was. Things that we say, didn't say, things that we do or didn't do that were offensive or hurtful to someone. And so the guilt offering allowed us to just cover the bases because, let's face it, I'm a human being and I'm going to make mistakes. In fact, the Hebrew word for sin, chet, means literally to miss the target. Mm. So in Judaism, we don't have a teaching of sin as bad, or sin as evil, or sin as influenced by anything other than right up here or right here. But it also positively acknowledges our fallible, not infallible, our fallible and imperfect humanity, which means that I'm a human being, I am going to get off path.